Hi guys, I'm Dorian from premiumuiKids.com, and in today's video I'm gonna be teaching you how to create a neo-brutalism magazine concept in Figma. But first, let's see what is neo-brutalism. So, neo-brutalism is a design style that has been a hot topic on Dribble lately, and it features like rough textures, jagged shapes, edge surfaces, and symmetrical natural shapes. And it's really architectural styles that came from French on the early 60s, and it goes with generally textures that mimics concrete, steel, glasses, bronze. But if you are interested, I will leave the link in the description because I wrote these articles a few months ago, and it became very interesting for people. So I will not bore you with all the details, but how it all transferred to UI design. Well, you see, even companies like Gumroad adopted this trend, and it features through huge typography, bold, vivid contrast, distinct separators, 3D shapes, and as you can see here, a cool example from Vladimir Gruyev, where he uses this noise background that mimics concrete or uh, rough texture, and I think this is quite good, is quite usable and still creative at the same time. So let's copy this image. This is what we're going to be creating, and let's move to Figma. So let's type new design file. Let's hit A for artboards, and let's choose a MacBook Air. Let's type Command V in order to paste, or Control V if you are on Windows, and let's rename this templates. And if you want to keep consistency and be professional in your work and to be able to color variables, just click here on page and type templates. This is where your templates are going to be. Hit plus in order to type another page named components for symbols, buttons, etc., etc. Typography, here we were gonna have all of our textiles and colors for color variables. But let's stick to the templates for the first phase here. Let's change the fill and make it the same color as our mockup. This is a pure black. And let's see what we have here. Let's analyze this a bit. As you can see, as for paragraphs and navigation items, I used Satoshi. And for titles, category titles, buttons, I use Canit. You can go to Google Fonts and type Canit and download your font. But if you aren't able to see this custom font in Figma, I suggest to go to figma.com/downloads and install this font installers based on your operating system. Either is Mac or Windows. Install this, install the fonts on your computer, and after that restart Figma and you'll see the fonts applied and you will be able to work with them. Okay, so let's create the header. Let's type T to create the navigation items. Let's type home, design, Command D to duplicate, programming, um, business, Command D, lifestyle, and tech. Okay, let's select all of this, type Shift A in order to add an auto layout, and you can see the distance between elements is equal, and now this tool is very powerful. Let's change a bit the direction to the horizontal, and let's change the color to C7, C7, C7. So let's change on the selected item on pure white, and let's add a simple and easy to implement effect like strike through for the selected link. Let's rename this on nav, and let's create the logo. Here it will be the name of the category. So in this case, if we are on the home page, I chose the name of the logo to be the title of the home and the date here. So it's quite, I don't know if it is creative or something like that, but I think it's a good way to go, and you will see further. But let's add Satoshi to for font family to this whole entire navigation system. So let's add Satoshi. Okay, and let's increase the font size on 16, and let's create the Monday, May 29th, and let's use Canit for that because it's the name of the logo. Okay, so okay, and let's add this 3D first, our first call to action button. Get in touch. Let's make it, let's capitalize it. Let's add the medium italic. And in order to have consistency and flexibility, type Shift A in order to add auto layout. Add a fill, hold Command and select the text above and change its color to black. Select the auto layout button now and give a value to the corner radius of 10. Increase its size to be 16, and it's already 16, and add that 3D effect. In order to add that effect, we have to add a drop shadow, which has no blur effect. It has 2 pixels on the X, 2 on the Y, and 100% opacity color. Make it white, add a stroke, and now we have created that same component, but it's a bit tall, right? It's 44 pixels on the height, and we want to be a bit shorter here. Let's make it 40, and let's make it 12. Okay, and in order to align this properly on vertical middle, let's type Shift A in order to add an auto layout that is on vertical align middle. And what else we are missing here? So we want to add this separator here that takes the whole real estate. So how we're going to do that? We're going to create another element? No, because we want to apply this drop shadow to the below element, to the headline part, right? So how we going to do that? Well, let's rename this under the header, and let's make it 1280, and let's align it to the left. And you see here there is a gap. Why is that? Because you will see a 140 pixel distance between each element. So how we're going to do that? We're going to type on more. We're going to enter to advanced auto layout settings, and on the spacing mode we just select space between, and you see here it's all looking nice and smooth. And if we resize, this whole component shrinks and it becomes very flexible, and it adapts in every situation. Kind of powerful, right? Let's add lateral padding of 40. Let's add a bit of a distance on the vertical padding to 12. Let's move it on the top, and let's add that separator. We want again 100% with no blur, with 2 on the X. We don't want anything, and let's just C7, 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 and nothing applies. The shadows is on the every component. Why is that? Because we don't have a fill. So let's add a background, and you see now the separator appeared, and it's very good. I think we're moving in the right direction, but I see that the separator has a different color. So let's take the eyedropper and let's make it 505050, and let's increase a bit the height of the header. Okay, let's make it a bit lighter. I want this to be more visible. Okay, so I think we're quite happy. Let's increase the distance between these elements. And this is Satoshi, this is Kanit, this is Kanit. Let's make it medium and let's make it 18. Let's increase the size. Let's make it C7, C7, C7. So I see that this I used this color quite a lot. So it's time to go to the colors, hit A, MacBook Air, hit O for oval, and create our first color variable, where I type C7, 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 and this is gray. Let's rename this gray. Let's duplicate this. Let's change it to Satoshi, and let's make it 16. Let's, oh no, let's C7, C7, C7. Click on it, click on this four ovals here, click create styles, and click colors slash separators link gray. And I tell to developers this is used for separators, shadows, and unselected links. Okay, so now we created the style. We can add this variable to the same components that have this color. So we go to the header, we select the elements that have this color, we type on here, and we type, and now all these elements have that gray. And if we are going to change the value of that gray, let's say we don't like this gray and we edit style, we click on properties and we want them to be a different color. Now as we updated it, if we go to the templates part, you see that all these components that have the same color updated accordingly. So let's undo this because we want to stick to that gray. Okay, I see that the get in touch button is a bit wider, so let's make it 14. Okay, so now we have created the header. Let's move below to the headline. So let's type creative here, right? Let's type 120. Let's add this paragraph here. This paragraph, Satoshi. Let's make it 16. Let's reset. Let's make it here. Let's go to lorem ipsum generator and copy some text from here. This, okay, just copy and paste. Okay, let's make it regular and let's use C7, C7, C7. Okay, let's add a bit of a indentation and let's select these two elements and click Shift A in order to add a not allowed. Okay guys, so let's add a fixed width 200. Okay, and let's give a value of fill, and let's give a value of fill, and let's select this component, change the direction, and as you can see here is very cool. And just select the header and click hold options and command and type C for copy style and select the headline and hold option command and type V in order to paste it. Oh, so it copied and pasted the same style, and now things are a bit messy, but don't worry, we will get here where we want. We will get there. So why is that? So take a look here. It has 140 the horizontal space between elements. Wow. So let's decrease this to 64. Let's increase this to, let's make it a bit like this, and let's make this 120 because the line height is very tall, and we don't want that because we don't have two words or longer words. We just have the word creative, and let's make it the same size as the header, because here you see the separators are taking the whole real estate. Let's increase the vertical padding to 24, and let's make this glued to one another, and let's make this on fill, and let's add this a bit of something like that. No, I don't like it, so I have to increase the size. Fill. Okay, so we're getting closer, guys. We're getting closer. Let's remove a bit here, or just add something like that, and let's move on to the hardest part. But if we stick to me till the end, you see that is very easy to do. So what we have here, we have two major components as you look very closely. We have a main post, and you have 6 posts. So you can create an auto layout with 2 components. On the horizontal axis as the direction, with 1 component here and 3 components on the vertical space, right? That these components has 2 components inside each of them. So how we're going to do that? Let's type R for rectangle. Let's create this one and this image, and let's say it has 20 pixel on the corner radius. It has a title, how 2023. We have a paragraph here, but let's apply this. Okay, this title to be Kanit, to be 32, even 36. Okay, we have this. We have a category name, UX design, and we have this get in touch button here. And I think the time to create a component out of it has arrived. So go to components, type MacBook Air, copy and paste that component. And if you want to create and to build a white theme, you see you have to think in advance, guys. So go to the components again, just duplicate this, and let's say you want to apply this button for light theme. So the shadow must be black, right? You can see it's very cool, right? So select both of these 2 components and then turn them into smart variants. So create component set is your choice in this case. Okay, so what we got here, it says here that some variants have the same property values applied. Change the value of this to resolve this. So this is pretty much, it's very easy to solve this. So this will be applied for dark theme and this for light theme. So you see here, in order to have more control, you see you type. What is this? Define this. This is a button that is for what theme? This is for dark theme. We select copy and we double click on it, apply, and say light. And now we have our first component in Figma that we can apply in every case. So see, this is not the symbol, and in order to apply the symbol, you see MacBook here. This is our document, and you can delete it, and now you have the component here, right? And in order to apply the same component here, you can go here and just arrange a bit, and you can create now an auto layout in order to be flexible and to have more control over it. So this is the main post, guys. Okay, so we have our first component ready, and here we have to, you see here is a little bit of a padding, here is a bit of a indent effect that we want to apply. So how we gonna do that? Select all these four components, type A for auto layout, and let's name it excerpt, and we want this to be fill container, and we want every element inside to be fill container. So it gives a lot of flexibility, and it takes the whole width, and it's very powerful, I think. Let's give a fill container value here, and we want just to manipulate the height. So 40, 420, and let's make it 600. And you see the whole excerpt adapted to the width that I set. So you have to click here alignment on the center. The line height of the title is 54, is too big, so we want to decrease it by giving a auto. Auto is too large, so just type 48. I think 42 looks very good. Let's make this capitalized, and let's make it medium. Let's decrease its size, and on this excerpt let's add 12 pixel and change the name of keep rating on whatever you like. Okay, so now between the image itself and the excerpt we want a larger height, so let's make it 28. Yes, I think it's pretty cool. Okay guys, so we're getting closer and closer, so bear with me guys. I'm sharing with you massive information here, so I hope you like it. Let's move on to these three sections here. So let's type no, let's type R for rectangle. Let's add how to send, type D, how to send effective cold emails in 2023, and let's make it Satoshi. Let's copy and paste the style and paste it here. Let's decrease the size to 20 pixels. Let's add a different line height. Let's add the category name here, align this time on the left, and let's add an auto layout here. So this is an auto layout where we have a 12 pixel, the distance between elements. So this is filled, this is filled, this is filled. If you have longer names, it will adapt very good, and you no longer have to be careful of the width of every word, so it will adapt very smoothly. Let's make it 16, and let's duplicate, right, this guide. Let's duplicate it, and let's select these two elements here and create another auto layout, but this time on the right. Okay, so if we decrease the size, it will not adapt. Why? Because these are not fill container. Okay, so now if you select the parent component and you will decrease its size 60, you'll see that it all just adapted nice and smoothly. Let's duplicate this. Okay, let's select again this, and now we have an auto layout on the vertical direction. Let's hit 32 for the distance between elements, and let's duplicate, and now we have total control of this 2-second component. And in order to have more control, just select secondary articles. Let's select these two main components and create another auto layout. And now you give a fixed width of 1200, and now a fill container, and now a hug or a fill container. And you will have again to change to fill container. So I think we're on the same page. We'll still be able to um, manipulate the height and the width, and now it's time to add these separators. So how we gonna do that? Very simple. So let's tap hero section, the most important section of the page. We will add type L for line, and now we can create a separator. So you want that separator to take the whole height, and you here, instead of fixed and vertical, you type fill. So if you have here, let's make it C7, C7, C7. If you have here less items, it will adapt accordingly. So I think this is very flexible, guys. So let's add between these components here, these rows, let's add the same paragraphs, and just in order to have the same color, just Alt Command copy and Alt Command V to paste, and now we have the same components. Okay guys, so add more uh, here. A good way is to add a, but because it's on the Y, you see here that I change a bit. I changed the degree in angles. So okay, so now we're good to go, and let's add fill. So if you want to stick with me to the end, I just want to make it in two parts, part one and part two. And if you want to continue, just meet me in the comments and say you want to for me to make it part two. So I will see you in the part two. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you so much. Bear with me to the end. So I'll see you on the part two. Thank you.